Hey gang, what's shaking? Full throttle kind of guy here on a brisk Saturday morning. Happy weekend, everybody. If you're not working, power through the day, you'll get there. In the crowded confines of my spacious garage. And anyways, today, in response to crazy gas prices, this is on my to-do list anyway. I'm going to go ahead and change out my Holley. The Holley that I have on there, it's a 750 or 700. Either way, it's an old school carb that seen better days. It's got a leaky throttle main shafts, and you know, putting a kit in it just isn't worth it. I've got a fresher Holley that has some of the newer features and amenities on it that I'm going to upgrade to, that doesn't leak or anything like that. So that's the goal for today. So it's going to be out with the old and in with the new, especially right now with gas prices being what they're skyrocketing to. It's almost like it's going up hourly, even though the fucking markets are closed. You know, they're playing that bullshit game. So not that dude. So anyways, time to go ahead and do my upgrade. So pick this up. It's a fresh Holley. It's one of the newer designs, not anything from, how do you say, the most recent batch of Holleys. So there was one of the YouTube sites I go to, a guy named God, I can't remember what his name is, but anyways, he was rampaging. He just blew $1,600 on two Holleys, and the quality of the Holleys and the fit and finish were just atrocious. So anyways, this one's a couple of years old, but had less than 100 miles on it. It was a great deal. So it's going to be a manual choke, vacuum secretary. That's pretty much all we need to try to get this thing done. So like I said, out with the old, in with the new. And also you got to see my new bling for the car. Gonna go for a new old school look. Gonna try to get these monsters on. I don't think I'm gonna be doing it today. I think I'm gonna need spacers. Right now I got 16s on the car, so I'm gonna be jumping to a massive 217s, or excuse me, 255/40 17s for the front, and then I got 275 for the rear. So these cars will take it. I've seen these things with 20-inch wheels on them already, so it's kind of crazy. But anyways, time to get some modernization on this car and get ready for cruising season. So stick around if you want. Hey, cool. Thanks for stopping on by. And let's get the car fired up and get this bad boy moving. I'll be doing shaky head cam today. Hey, full throttle kind of guy. Checking in on a Saturday. Hopefully everybody had a great day. Hopefully the weather was great. If it wasn't great, you know, hopefully at least you were doing something you wanted to do. Anyways, anybody who's been awake the whole week, or even coming out of coma, one thing you're going to know is about, you know, gas prices skyrocketing. Well, newsflash, we got spring break coming up, gas companies pulling the same bullshit they pull every year, and other stuff, you know, throughout the world. What are you going to do, right? Well, for me, one thing that was going on is on my Galaxie, it already gets bad gas mileage. Bro, it's Galaxie. But the Holley was like the #1 offender on the car. Well, #2. I mean, I kept on, you know, running and gunning. Anyways, I digress. So, love Holleys. Don't get me wrong, Edelbrocks are good too. But for this car, for the right look, I wanted a Holley. Look, it's not open for debate. Anyways, it was a 3310 old school carb from, you know, back in the good old days when, you know, stuff was made in the U.S. and whatnot. I know Holley's still making stuff in the U.S., but on Scott's Speed Shop, he had mentioned the fact that he had shelled out over $1,200. Murphy's Law, I can't get this thing out of the box. It's snagging out a bit. He had shelled out over $1,200 for 2 carbs for a tunnel ramp. Dude, that's a lot of money, man. And, you know, even though I know homeboy's probably raking in the bucks from YouTube and that, it's the principle of things. So I don't know what's going on with quality control, but I saw the evidence right out the box, and I saw the stuff he got from Jegs, the Jegs carbs, and I'll tell you what, they look good, and the next MRF or next upgrade, I'm going to be, doing that. So, as far as with the Holley, and as you can see, here's the old one. It gets to the point where if a car has been built or rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt, it starts getting weird characteristics like the throttle shafts start to leak. The Teflon in it wears out. People from soaking it overnight, just eats up those little parts like that. But again, there's little things on there like the side screws. I kind of got spoiled by the newer carbs because of the side screws. Well, I happen to have a Holley carburetor from a couple of years ago that was sitting on a shelf. Never used anything like that, so I figured, why am I still running and gunning with this old outdated carb? So what I did was I broke it out, changed the gaskets and everything, and anybody who's anybody, or even somebody with a super basic skill can change out a carb. The biggest thing, it's proper planning prevents piss poor performance. So be expecting the unexpected. Do the little things. Brand new fuel filter, new rubber, new fuel line clamps. It took a little bit of time, but the biggest thing that I wrestled with, and this is kind of what my rant's about. Again, it's an older Holley, had quality to it. There were no control issues, anything like that. Again, my favorite feature, love the side bowl. This I'm going to have to adjust. I'm parked on an angle right now, so I can't, futz with it right now. I went with the manual choke, period piece. It's like in the 60s, who had an electric choke? Don't know, don't care, but I'm running manual in this thing. End of story. So anyways, so in the interim, I'm going to have to wire this bad boy open, and then I'll, run a line through the firewall. This turd right here, these fuel lines, it's like nobody makes these things domestically, and they're a nightmare because they're so frickin' wonky. Cheap copper with cheap chroming on it, and whoever's shipping it over from Wangchung or whatever, dude, whatever jig that they have to make these things, they've made millions of these things, they've got billions, the jigs are worn out, so your mileage may vary when you're trying to wrestle one of these things on its frickin' carbs. The number one things you're going to find that's going to be a nightmare is tightening up these fittings. You can't get your traditional line wrench around it, and these were like 11/16. So several ugga-duggas starts, wiping excess fuel from pouring out, ugga-duggas, tightening it. I got that to finally stop leaking, but the other Holley was so bad, it was leaking, and there would be puddles of fuels in the valley area. Literally, there was a fire hazard. One of the Mopar people, I think it was John Wilburn, said, hey, with Holleys, and you got a car that has some kind of janky issues in that, sometimes, a little extra fuel kind of hides those sins. Dude, this car was a sinner. I mean, apparently I couldn't drive by a church without it, causing any problems, but you'd always smell just raw gas, the whole 9 yards, and that thing was just terrible. It's served its time and service and everything. Again, whether it's worth building up again and whatnot, don't know. It'll just wind up on a shelf probably. But anyways, put new gaskets in, the phenolic spacer I'm running. Again, I wired the choke open for now. I'll get the manual choke. If you put the manual choke on your car, and you got to remember, vacuum secondary, bro. Vacuum secondary. What's going to happen is these bad mamma jams, the moment you goose this thing, it's going to close the secondaries, and you're not gonna be happy with life right now. And then right away people start blaming the carbs, doing this, that, and the other thing. It's not the carbs. Again, proper planning. Dude, wire up your choke, and you're not going to have this nightmare. So, anyways, fired it up several times. No more leaks. I got a couple other, dude, it's an old car. Got several other leaks I'm going to be chasing around right now. Heading off to the local Costco to go pick up fuel. It's the cheapest place in town. So I'm going to stock up on my premium. And hey, you need gas, you're going to have to buy gas. I ain't got a lottery ticket, so that's reality. So, anyways, it was fun work. I know it was done right. Didn't over torque it. Whenever I do my carb installs, I always go in a crisscross pattern to avoid over torquing it. And then with the newer gen Holleys, the one thing I like is the thicker base plates. Back in the day, people would come along and they would over torque these things because they would never put new gaskets on. You know, there's always a temptation of, the other gasket looked good, I just ran it anyway. Dude, they're trash, throw them out. They're nickel dime items in that. It's just, my biggest advice is don't get those paper thin cheap ass gaskets that you buy in bulk, you know, off of Space Cowboy website or Evil Bay. You know, you're gonna have to buy, you know, at least the thick gaskets. And I know there's no local speed shops anymore, so you have to go to the local, you know, parts stores, and those things are expensive. If you can find them in bulk online, the good thick ones, get them. They're worth their money because they seal right. They do their job. And you're not chasing vacuum leaks for days and your car runs, you know, like a turd and everything. But I got to the point where this thing literally, you can just tap the key, it'll fire up, and you're down the road. Stone cold, the whole 9 yards. So this car, it's been a learning experience. Wiring system, that was a nightmare in and of itself, and that's something for another day. But let me tell you, when you get my age, and I'm like pushing the 6-0, man, I can't see anymore. And I ain't getting those freaking glasses where you can't read a newspaper in the sunlight no more because that damn thing will catch fire because now you're rolling fire hazard. But love my wife, man. She's the bomb.com. She has a plotter where she works, and I've got the schematics for the car, and I got everything blown up so I can actually see it and I can identify the colors in that. So I went from having headlights only and intermittent tail lights to I've got tail lights and I've got full functioning lights. I've got dash lights, temperature gauge works now, and then turn signals work. The only thing I'm chasing right now is a short with the brake light itself, but I think it's something more internally with wiring either from the turn signal switch, and why they wire a turn signal switch to the turn signal to the brake system, ain't got a clue, but I think I do. Basically, when you're on the brakes, you still get your brake light capability in that. But that's neither here nor there. But you can get a schematic for your car. If you can read a map, you can read a schematic. If you can't read a schematic, find somebody to kind of walk you through it. You'll pick it up. You know, it's just like playing a video game now. I mean, that's all it is. Anyways, the little test light, the whole bit. One thing I did too, cleaned up my fuse panel. And after I cleaned up the fuse panel, I just Scotch-Brighted some of the contacts. One pain point, bro, let me tell you, or bro S if you're a lady, fuses, holy crap. Long gone are the days where you just run down to your local parts store, unless it's like Napa or whatever, to find tubes to the glass filament units. I mean, you find the new ones all day long, but the old school ones, freaking forget about it. And they're so freaking expensive. So, man, you have to go online, buy them in bulk, then store them and save them. And, of course, this thing uses weird size filaments, 5 amps, 14 amps, and 15 amps. What the hell were they thinking when they were doing the engineering? Hey, let's just do a 14 amp. Why not just do a 15 amp, bro? But I digress. That's old school engineering for you. I guess somebody needed a quota to be filled at the fuse company at the time. Hey, can you hook me up? I'm so close, man. I got to sell these 14s. I'm swimming in them. Hey, I got you. Hey, change that to a 14 amp. What the hell is the difference of 1 amp? Anyways, like I said, with this car, man, I'm pumping out 14.4, you know, thanks to the 130 amp monster I got in this thing. And let me tell you, I love that 3G Ford unit. Man, if you got an old car, you're still farting around with the generator and whatnot, God love you, man. I get the nostalgia piece, but man, get with the modern times, man. Ditch that turd and get some amps in there. You know, so I'm even looking at a sound system and everything. You know, I figure I can use the sound system to rattle all the rusty panels loose. I may only have a frame left and an engine and transmission, but I'll find all the rust and I can start working on it from there. But anyways, I digress. So I'm gonna head off to Costco and just do my thing. And I'll catch up with the guys tomorrow or whenever I see you again. But get full throttle kind of guy, checking out the gas prices and deal with the sticker shock there. Man, while it's taking a beating, hey man, I need gas, gotta get it. Reminds me, I need lottery tickets tonight too. If I win the lottery, I'll thank you guys. All right. Anyways, peace. Y'all be good.